So the Spurs only have 1 week left of the NBA season. And, it's been a long season. And the Victor Wembanyama era, the first year in this era, but yes, it's not a lot of, there just hasn't been a lot of winning, but we get to see that it has been successful, and it's been very, very fun to watch this happen. Now, there's only 1 week left in the season. If you're a Spurs fan, if you're, one of the playoff teams, then yeah, you got April, May, and June to worry about. But for us, we're done. We got the NBA draft and then free agency to worry about. What should we look for during this last 5 games in this week, right? I'm recording this on a Saturday, so tomorrow's game is against the 76ers. Maybe a little bit of a rematch versus Embiid and Wembanyama. If you remember that game where Embiid dropped 70, and Wemby did have a good game, but still let up 20 points from Embiid. But no, that could be a great game to watch. Also, a rematch of that. 2 bad teams, the in the Spurs' last game of the season, Spurs versus the Pistons, might be a fun watch. And then you got a couple of Southwest rivalries, like the Grizzlies and then the Thunder, and then we also got the Nuggets, who it was a close game last time. So you another Jokic versus Wemby battle, and another Chet versus Victor Wembanyama battle. Wow, there's a lot of good battles coming down the stretch of the Spurs season, right? What are we looking for, right? And it's pretty simple. Victor Wembanyama is still the number one thing to watch. And if you're, obviously if you're a Spurs fan, you know everything about Wembanyama at this point, right? He's easily the team's best player, best scorer, probably best passer at this point in the season, the best defender, and might be the best defender in the league already. So, yeah, what do you watch when you watch Wembanyama, right? So, I mentioned passing, and I think that, lately we've really seen the development of his passing. Yeah, he's a great defender. Yeah, he can score, obviously. Yes, his shooting has become a lot more consistent. But his playmaking, dude, that has developed really nicely, and I think, my goodness, this 20-year-old is already passing very gosh darn well. And, it makes me really hopeful for him to be, not only an elite defender and elite scorer, especially down in the post and in the paint or whatever, but also an elite playmaker, an all-around player, right? Seriously, next time you watch a Spurs game, Spurs fan or not, watch Wembanyama and his passing, right? Specifically also in the last win, last night against the Pelicans. Watch him kind of play around in the offense a little bit more watch him when he gets double teamed. Watch him when the team blitz him. And then, I'm starting to see the little things like that when you watch him do a little give and go. When you watch him get the ball and this team blitz him. Don't blitz Wembanyama because that's most likely going to lead to an open basket. His drive and kicks. Honestly, him just kind of back to the basket, just dribbling the ball, and then a guy cutting, and he just goes, sometimes it's just like that, but sometimes it's around the player's body. Genuinely, he's going to be a really gosh darn good playmaker. I think that's been the most impressive thing to me, right? Because I remember watching him in France, right? And I saw little tidbits here and there of him passing, right? And I think that was probably the least talked about skill that he had coming out of college or coming out of France. But I noticed, I was like, whoa, there's something there. And I think that has developed amazingly throughout the season. There's a reason why he says, I'm going to get a quadruple double. He was very close one game. Forgot who it was against on the top of my head. Maybe the Nuggets? But no, he almost got a quadruple double. Yo, man. He's going to get that. He's getting a double-double a night. The points and the rebounds are going to be there every single night. But it's just a matter of blocks and, assists. Now, stepping away from Wembanyama, everybody knows about Wembanyama. What about the other players? Well, Vassell and Jeremy Sohan are out for the year. That kind of sucks, right? Because honestly, I would say outside of Wembanyama, those two are probably the most promising players on the team. And they are out for the rest of the year, which to be fair, it's only 2 weeks. They were out, I think, all of last week. So it's not, not a huge big deal. Try to get them healthy because they were dealing with injuries. So try to get them healthy for down the line. Totally understand why. But at the same time, it's like, those kind of like big important pieces. They are the other promising players on this team, right? I would say that the other promising players like Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley are very young and they don't really have a specialized role yet besides developing off the bench. And I think that's what you should watch out for. The players who are developing off the bench, like Malachi Branham and Blake Wesley, who Malachi is pretty sure is now starting. Basically just look for his scoring, right? Look for, the way that they play with Wembanyama. Recently I've seen a lot of, Wembanyama like driving or maybe hands or back behind the basket and Malachi Branham running around and then boom, finding a wide open 3, right? Or long 2 or Blake Wesley, especially transition player. Watch him in the transition. He's really good in that. Electrifying dunks, right? Just watch out the development of the other players. And then, of course, just watch the rest of the team and see who gets, who has a chance to get a roster spot on the team. Because honestly, I'm not going to be surprised in the next 2-3 seasons. Most of these guys on this team are not going to be here anymore. So this is probably the last chance you're going to see a Devontae Graham, a Sandro Mamu. I can't say his full name. Maybe potentially even Zach Collins, right? Some of these guys will get traded, will get released, will just leave in free agency. A lot of these guys are going to eventually do that. So, yeah. This has been a crazy year, though, and I can't wait to talk about it more in the upcoming Sundays. I know what you're thinking. He's back? Yes, I'm back. For the 100 people who sometimes watch my channel, yes, I am back. So this is obviously something new for you guys. I never really specifically done Spurs content, but that is something that I'm going to do from now on. This is actually something, a new series going to be called Spurs Sunday. I'm going to be probably doing this, Spurs Sunday twice a month, right? Sorry, I just saw an iguana walk across the window. But no, this is this is the first episode of Spurs Sunday. So, as you guys can tell, this channel, every single time I start back up again, or I just attempt to do a video or something like that, I never stay consistent, and I think that I need to find a way to stay consistent, and this is easily one of the ways. Talking about my teams, that's one easy way to stay consistent. Of course, there's going to be other video ideas and series and stuff like that I have planned in my head, and I'm going to really try to do that this year. I'm really going to try and stay consistent. And I think that the Spurs Sunday, and then also another thing that I will, you guys will see on Wednesday, 2 series that's going to be, you're going to see consistently. So how Spurs Sunday is going to work is that I'm going to do 2 videos per month, right? Every month, 2 videos. NBA is a little bit more year-round than something like football, for example. So, and also, by the way, there's a lot of games. And quite frankly, I'm a college student. And I'm about to be working also while doing college. So I'm probably going to miss a lot of games. So this is one very easy way for me to stay in the loop. Because I'm going to watch Spurs games. I'm going to make time, my free time, to watch Spurs games. Even if I can't watch any other games, I'm going to watch Spurs games. So this is easily one way to stay in touch with YouTube because, obviously I haven't been consistent. Because of that, I'm going to try to go simple. Spurs content, Ravens content, and then when I am free to do other stuff. That is what I'm doing. That's what I'm planning to do. I'm doing that. Then this iguana really wants me, man. Do the stuff that I want to do ultimately, right? Yes, I'm planning on other stuff that will come out later, and I will obviously talk about that when I get a consistency going, right? But obviously, as you can tell, this is the first iteration of this series, Spurs Sundays. You like the alliteration? I hope you like the alliteration. I'm going to have one this week, or this video, of course, and then I'm going to have one after the end of the season, right? And those will be my 2 Spurs Sundays. Obviously, there's going to be more stuff on this channel, right? And another channel. But, check that out. Check out the Come Up podcast. I'll put the link down in the description of this video. New stuff is going to drop soon. And then, of course, this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned.